Couldn't keep me from the fire. Stayed there though my heart kept beating. Stayed there 'cause my hair won't ride. Just waiting for the one salvation. The same one to make it alright. Keep the faith because it's just what you do. I always knew that you'd appear and how you make this light burn brighter. You make this light burn brighter. You take away my pain, break me from the chains to keep us burning. And even when I was burning with impatience, never made it to the mine, no mile. Kept busy on the worst locations. I stopped following the line. 'Cause that dance don't work with the devil. That dance gonna take for a ride. Be ready for the ramifications of being crippled inside. Keep the faith because it's just what you do. I always knew that you'd appear and how you make this light burn brighter. You make this light burn brighter. You take away my pain, break me from the chains to keep us burning. Oh, you make this light burn brighter. You make this light burn brighter. You take away my pain, break me from the chains to keep us burning. You make this light burn brighter. You know you make this light burn brighter. You take away my pain, break me out of chains to keep us burning.
For all I know, the best is over and the worst is yet to come. Is it enough to keep on hoping when the rest have given up? And they know I hate to say I told you so, but they love to say they told me so. I hate to say I told you so, but they love to say they told me.
Okay, how's it going, everybody? We're gonna be getting into actually editing this project. It's been taking a while to come out, but you should be able to see on screen what I've got here now that I've swapped it over. There we go. Put on some different music. If you guys have any songs you want to listen to, let me know. How's it going, Aaron? What's up, Alexis? Okay, so let's get into things. First thing, oh shit. Wait, I might have to go get footage. I bet I can find this somewhere. What's up, Bash? What's up? Aaron as well, and Alexis again. Hello, hello. What I need is the Skyrim intro. So I may go grab that really quick, just on my own, because all the videos that I'm seeing here are uploaded like 13 years ago. If I go with Skyrim intro and then I sort by recent. Surely you can reenact it from memory. Yeah, but I wanted to put the clip in here because I thought that it'd be funny for the intro. This is... this should work. Hope you guys are having a good Sunday, by the way. Okay, we're going to go into Skyrim and grab this. I think that's the easiest way. Deep in programming. Ooh. I'm going to swap this to just chatting, just so no one gets my information here. What's up? Bash can't stay for long, but if you'd like a fresh pair of eyes to proof watch your video before it goes live, I'd be happy to make sure there's no typos, oversights, etc. Let me know on Discord. Well, this VOD will be up afterwards, so you can definitely feel free to watch through it. We all know what that noise is. Cesspool Sunday for me. Don't get them too often anymore. Getting pizza later. Okay, sick. Oh god. What is my copy of Skyrim doing? Here. You guys see what's going on with my mouse? Okay, well, hopefully that doesn't change anything. Click record here. Oh, hell no. Why? Why is it like this? Oh my god. Oh, you can't be serious, dude. There's no way. Oh my god. Why? What the hell? Oh my god. Yeah, Skyrim picture-in-picture mode. Holy crap. Okay, let's try that again. Wow. Oh no, why is it so big now? I'm gonna hope this fixes. It didn't fix. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I can fix this. I was hoping I wouldn't have to swap this around. Okay, we just gotta restart one more time and then it should hopefully work. Yeah, surely. I just gotta let me open up the menu here. All this is just for a bit at the beginning of the video, by the way. I need the Skyrim intro. I can't find a high-quality version online. Oh, is it still zoomed in? What is wrong with my game? Okay, let's quit out. Try this one more time. Okay. Okay. Okay, this should be fine. Oh my god. Alright. New game. Need like 30 seconds of this.
Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us. And that thief over there.
Damn you Stormcloaks. Skyrim was fine until you came along. Empire was nice and lazy. If they hadn't been looking for you, could have stolen that horse and been halfway to Hammerfell. You there, you and me, we shouldn't be here. It's these Stormcloaks the Empire wants.
We're all brothers and sisters in binds now, thief.
Shut up back there.
What's wrong with him, huh?
Okay, that should be enough. Oh my god, now Steam itself is zoomed in. Huge. Okay, we'll swap it over to this. I'm going to fix this issue. Alright. There we go. And we're back. Videos, this, there. Okay, so the beginning of this video is now. So it's the year 2025. We all know the 16/17 Daedric princes, right? Azura, Queen of Dusk and Dawn, pretty easy. Mehrunes Dagon, the Prince of Destruction, popular right now with the Oblivion remaster. Hermaeus Mora, the All-Seeing Eye. Athelia, the Daedric Prince of... Wait. Athelia? What the fuck? So I'm going to cut it off right here, and then I'm going to put in the Skyrim intro, and that's the bit. I don't think it's even going to be worth the time, but that's the joke. Thank you, thank you. Athelia? What the fuck? Dareloth be like, Skyrim was fine until Athelia came along. Princes were nice in 16. Exactly. Okay, and then we'll have this sort of go to, I think, let's square blur it, and then that'll be the background. Actually, people will know what it is. So I could blur the whole thing. And then we'll have this be where the title card comes in. I need to choose a soundtrack to have in the background as well. Trying to think of good songs to use for this. I do think the online soundtrack has some bangers. The music that just plays during the Skyrim intro, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. You just turn the volume up here. God, what song is this specifically? Because I could put in the actual song. And then we could just have that loop for a little while afterwards. Because I don't want to hear Dareloth and Lokir talking, yapping it up. Is this from past to present? No, this is awake. Okay. We'll download this. Yeah. All right. What the fuck was that? What the fuck? Dude, what's going on with my computer right now? Oh my god. That was supposed to be awake. Oh my lord, dude. That is awake4.mp3. Let's try that again. Yeah, early YouTube tutorial music. Crazy. Okay, this is the same thing. Does this have, like, what is this? Why did this download from this? I'll put the link in that I used to download this. That link takes you back to the Skyrim Awake. That is so weird. Okay, this one this one should work. They're not appearing in my downloads folder though. It's just kind of weird. Oh, there they are. All right. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, now we can do the title, which will come here. I think for this video, I've done different titles before. Yeah, I like this one. I used this one in the Thalmor video. I still don't know what I'm gonna call this video. I've gone through a handful of names. It's not just going to be about Ethelia. Just Daedric cosmology is kind of boring. And I didn't want it to be something too clickbaity, like Ethelia ruins everything. So we'll put that in as a placeholder for now. The Ethelia problem, DM, yeah. Or Oblivion's shivering eye. Or Oblivion's shiver. Ah, okay. Oops. This here. How many Daedric princes are there? Something along those lines could be good. So an Aedra is an entity. Okay, I've definitely lost some audio already. Vergrat, realms currently ruled over by, according to a handful of Namira. See, which is something that's crazy for me to. Or Oblivion's shivering. His great library, he was able. Man, this Skyrim bit at the beginning really goofed everything up, didn't it? Obligated to finish those. Where did I put the rest of my audio? Bro is not organized? No. I thought that I just took the audio that was connected here and then I put it down here, but this stuff is not right. Mayas more. Realms that previously belonged to princes but no longer do. I've ever spent. There are 16 days. Yeah, there are 16. This is a total misreading of Mehrunes Dagon. Oh man, okay. I'm really confused and I don't know how this happened. I'm honestly gonna exit without saving. Pop this back up. Ethelia, the Daedric. Another episode of me ranting and raving about. Yeah, I don't know where this stuff went. Lines on a live stream. In my to another episode of me rant. We can plug all that stuff back in and do that really quickly. What the fuck? Cut that out. I'm taking this audio and putting it right here. Yeah, plot twist, it never existed in the first place. That would make sense at this point. Wait. Ethelia? What the fuck? Yeah. Welcome to another episode of me ranting and raving. Welcome to another episode of me ranting and raving about Elder Scrolls Cosmology. I'm glad you could join me. This month we'll be talking about the Daedric Princes, and I've got a lot to say about them. Just as a blanket statement, this video will contain spoilers for the Elder Scrolls Online, specifically the Necrom and Gold Road chapters, and it will contain spoilers for the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion's Shivering Isles DLC, which is something that's crazy for me to have to warn about spoilers in the year 2025, but with the Oblivion remaster having just dropped, I don't want to ruin anyone's day. So, I've wanted to make a video about Athelia for a while, but I'd never played ESO's Necrom or Gold Road chapters, so I felt like I was morally obligated to finish those expansions before I said anything, because you can only learn so much by just reading summaries of the plots on UESP. So, very recently, on the channel, I tortured myself by playing through those plot lines on a livestream. It was excruciatingly painful, and probably the worst $30 I've ever spent on anything in my life, reading summaries of the... Okay. It's my glowing recommendation for Necrom. Thing is $30. Yeah, it cost me $30 to buy it. It was real bad. I know I took some footage of Athelia just standing still, specifically for this. Cinemax should pay you $30 for having to play it. Yeah, I know. I need to be refunded. I don't know. I guess I'll just pick some random clip of Athelia talking. Now, from a lore perspective, you can only learn so much by just reading summaries of the plots on UESP. So, very... Is it a crazy take to say even though Necrom sucked, I still think it was better written than Blackwood? I was talking with Imperial Knowledge about Blackwood, and he liked it, and I was just like, I don't know how, but to each their own. I did not like Blackwood either. I was pained playing through that. So, very recently, on the channel, I tortured myself by playing through those plot lines on a livestream. It was excruciatingly painful, and probably the worst $30 I've ever spent on anything in my life, but I am at least very thankful for those of you who joined me on that quest. In investigating Athelia, I realized... What is wrong with this soundtrack? Is it when I stretched it? Is that not what this does? Okay, hold on. Click that. Oh, it looks like it just made its own soundtrack. Not like I was morally obligated to finish those playing through. Okay, yeah, that's whack. Here. Athelia, I realized that in investigating Athelia, I realized that I had a I don't know, something like that I'll have to do. Okay, let's skip back. I realized that I had a lot more to say than I'd initially thought. Not just about her, mind you, but speaking broadly of all of the Daedric princes. Generally speaking, this lore video will be about... I found so many cool pictures earlier. Where did I put them? Ethelia video. Found so many cool pictures of Daedric princes that artists had made before. Like, check this shit out. This is so cool. It's like a redesign of all the Daedric princes that somebody made. So I'm going to credit their work, but I do want to use it. But I am at least very thankful for those of you who joined me on that quest. In investigating Ethelia, I realized that I had a lot more to say than I'd initially thought. Not just about her, mind you, but... Yeah, for sure talented. Right in the middle here. We want to give this thing drop shadow. Make it the background. Mind you, but speaking broadly of all of the... Not just about her, mind you, but speaking broadly of all of the Daedric princes. Generally speaking, this lore video will be about concerns that I have about the representation of the Daedric princes, and how I think Elder Scrolls Online has sort of lost the plot in many ways, and is officially on my shit list now from a lore perspective. So, thanks, ESO, I guess. I will highly recommend that you watch my tower lore video before this one, as an understanding of the Orbis and the spokes is going to be necessary to comprehend for parts of this video. A link to the tower video will be in the description. I will also be spouting opinions in this video, more so than usual, because it seems like with all the muddled lore about Daedric entities, there's no longer any truth to a lot of statements, just endless conjecture. This video will be a little bit all over the place. We'll be talking about the original 16 Daedra and the importance of the number 16. This video will be a little bit all over the place. We'll be talking about the original 16 bit all over the place. We'll be talking about the original 16 Daedra and the importance of the number 16 in Elder Scrolls, the place that the Daedric realms hold in the cosmos, the difference between a princedom and a pocket realm. We'll talk about the 5 Daedric princes that we know are canonically younger than the rest. We'll talk about other Daedric entities that have cropped up over time. We'll touch on what an Erdra is and the representation of the Daedra in ESO. So, very much a mixed bag, somewhat of an omnibus of Daedric discussion, but I'll try my best to relate it all back to one another. So we're all on the same page here. In very simple terms, in the Elder Scrolls there are Aedra and Daedra. Aedra translates to ancestors. Okay, now I gotta grab probably this background that everyone uses in their lore videos. The Legends thing. Translates to ancestors, whereas Daedra translates to not our ancestors. I kind of want to use the Oblivion font. The reason I don't use this one all the time is it takes up so much space on the page, but it is a really cool font. Not that one. There it is. Lorem Ipsum. Yep, that'll be the whole video. Oops, not reset. Okay. Now that we got that all in order. Yeah. Conclusion, lorem ipsum. Thank you. Daedra and Daedra. Aedra translates to ancestors, whereas Daedra translates to not our ancestors. So an Aedra is an entity that assisted the being known as Lorcan in creation, and a Daedra is one who did not. So this is a list of the known Daedric princes thus far. Azura, Boeth, Are you looking forward to all the Sotha Sil quotes in your comments about there being more princes? Nope. Nope. Okay. Trying to think of them before I say them, but Lethia, Clavicus Vile, Hermaeus Mora, Hirsine, Ithelia, Jigalag, Malakath, Who comes next alphabetically? Marin's Dagon. Mephala. Meridia. I think I am going to have to go back off of the Daedric font, or the Oblivion font. It is way too big. I'll go to the classic font. I'll make this look better in a minute. Right. Should be all of them. Known Daedric princes thus far. Azura, Boethia, Clavicus Vile, Hermaeus Mora, Hirsine, Ithelia, Jigalag, Malakath, Mehrunes Dagon, Malakath, Mephala, Meridia, Molag Bal, Namira, Nocturnal, Periite, Sanguine, Sheogorath, and Vermina. And for those of you keeping track at home, that's 18. However, there have firmly been 16 Daedric realms that have been ruled by princes for many, many, many years. It's a cosmological fact about the universe itself, according to some sources, but according to a handful of fans, there are, and I quote, literally innumerable lords. This is a total misreading of the text, but we'll get into that later. Suffice it to say, this misreading has caused somewhat of a confusing split in the lore community regarding the number of Daedric realms and princes. Is it 16? Can it be more? Should it be more? Personally, I don't think so. So let's jump in and talk about why I don't like more realms being added. Okay. There. Confusing. Chapter 1. There are 16 Daedric realms currently ruled over by Daedric princes. Much better with the outline. Every day we get better at making videos. It's the small stuff. There are 16 Daedric realms currently ruled over by Daedric princes. Moonshadow. Now we gotta go into this. Again, we'll make all this look prettier later, but for now I just want to lay down the bones of the video. Okay, Malakath. Jesus Christ. I can think of Malakath's realm. Oops. Okay. Share, the Fields of Regret, Apocrypha, the Hunting Grounds, Ash Pit, the Deadlands, the Spiral Skein, the Colored Rooms, Cold Harbor, the Scuttling Void, Evergloam, the Pits, the Myriad Realms of Revelry, the Shivering Isles, and Quagmire. Outside of these princely realms, we know of 2 realms that previously belonged to princes but no longer do. Fargrave is a Daedric realm that used to but no longer do. Fargrave is a Daedric realm that used Fargrave / Mirrormore, I guess. To belong to Prince Athelia prior to her banishment, which used to be called Mirrormore, and Deadlight is a piece of an old realm that is said to have been previously occupied by a forgotten Daedric prince. The common 2 contenders for who Deadlight belonged to are are Gigalag and Ethelia. I believe Deadlight was likely a piece of Mirrormore, since 1. It I wish there was more art of Ethelia out there, because I don't want to have to use this one picture of her for the whole video. I guess I can do this one where she looks like a red guard. You could use one from the Reddit artist earlier. Yeah, I still need to make sure that that gets credited properly. I like using official material when I can, or stuff that was made by people who worked on the games when I can. I guess I could use this picture here. And then we can have this split screen fade away to Ethelia in the background after. Literally can't be Gigalag's because his realm is the Shivering Isles. And 2, Gigalag was never truly forgotten. To summarize Gigalag, I guess I am talking about Gigalag here. Let's get the picture of the big man himself. And 2, Gigalag was never truly forgotten. Gross mouth sounds in here. Get rid of those. Gigalag was never truly forgotten. To summarize Gigalag's story, he is the Daedric Prince of Order. He once ruled a great span of Oblivion, with his realm of order overtaking vast expanses. Using his great library, he was able to determine events that would come to pass, and became extraordinarily powerful, so much so that the other Daedric princes became fearful of Gigalag, cursing him to become that which he hated most: madness, in opposition to the very idea of order. Gigalag was cursed into becoming the entity known as the idea of order. Madness. Hated most. Madness, in opposition to the very idea of order. Gigalag was cursed into becoming the entity known as Sheogorath, to live out the life of a madman. However, once per era, as ill-defined a term as that is, Gigalag was allowed to return and wreak havoc across his realm in an event known as the Grey March. Once he conquered his old realm, he would return to his previous form of Sheogorath and the cycle would continue. However, the events of the Shivering Isles DLC separated Gigalag from Sheogorath, creating 2 distinct Daedric princes at once, a Prince of Order and a Prince of Madness. And that's the story of Gigalag. But again, more to my point, Gigalag was never truly forgotten. Okay. Now we need my man Dias.
Grey March.
Being up.
Following each cycle of the Grey March, Sheogorath has cast out or killed every aspect of order found in the Shivering Isles. I alone have survived. Sheogorath cannot bring himself cast out or killed every aspect of order found in the Shivering Isles.
I know there's art of Daius in that picture I just used. I might use this old picture from just Oblivion, honestly. Oh no, there's this Legends art of him. Sweet. We'll detach the audio here. Simply transmogrify. Truly forgotten. Okay, we need to move this over now. There's some cracking noise. I think I cracked my... Was never knuckle. Truly forgotten. Okay, it's right there. So we'll cut that out. And don't need that. Put this here. And where is Daius? He's right here. Right in front of my face. Yeah, for some reason I can't copy paste this. Oh, they're not connected, I bet. Okay, I don't know what the problem is then. Copy, paste. Weird. Really forgot.
Following each cycle of the Grey March,
Okay, I've got to make my little thing first. So we're going to go speaker, Daius. And that's 1. Have that up in the corner. So speaker, go here. Next would be, always forget how I do these. Appearance and author, but this one would just really be speaker and appearance. Forgot. And now that we got these two, put this up here and down below, and we'll get the full quote out. Now I can start copy pasting.
following each cycle of the
Forgot.
Following each cycle of the Grey March, Sheogorath has cast out or killed every aspect of order found in the Shivering Isles.
Like Daius says there, Jiggalag's followers were killed off or banished, and because it happened a very long time ago, many people just don't remember him in the modern day. But that does not mean forgotten. Not in the same way. Yeah, I'll double check. I always double check my videos to make sure that it's consistent across them, so I'll go look at the tower video. Yeah, source. Okay, source. I think I did it speaker last time. Okay, yep, source. Okay. Add another one here. I just wanted to make sure that it was consistent. So, boom. This will go up here. This will be source. Isles, DLC, or bring Isles, direct quote. Okay, yeah. That'll work.
Following each cycle of the Grey March, Sheogorath has cast out or killed every aspect of order found in the Shivering Isles.
Like Dias says there, Jiggalag's followers were killed off or banished, and because it happened a very long time ago, many people just don't remember him in the modern day. But that does not mean forgotten, not in the same way as Athelia at least. Jiggalag was simply transmogrified into Sheogorath so long ago that modern people in Tamriel don't know much about him. But he is still known, and not just by people, but other beings as well. His name appears in 2 books. Okay, we'll get On Oblivion in here. We'll cut these off. Faunuiten, Sheogorath. And this book has been in a lot of games. People in Tamriel don't know much about him, but he is still known, and not just by people, but other beings as well. His name appears in 2 books. On Oblivion is I'll just have those 2 highlighted. I don't know why these can't be copy pasted. That is going to lose me a lot of time. His name appears in 2 books. On Oblivion is one of them, as is the poem called Darkest Divinities. Should get that too, shouldn't I? Still known, and not just by people, but other beings as well. His name appears in 2 books. On Oblivion is one of them, as is the poem called Darkest. Okay. Things as well. His name appears in 2 books. On Oblivion is one of them, as is the poem called Darkest Divinities. And of course there is Dias, Sothasil, Sirta, Haskell, Talimrend, Fanuiten, Sheogorath, Haskell. Actually, don't think Sirta knows who Jigalag is. She just knows that she knows what the Grey March is. I'll leave it in there for now. Of course, there is Dias, Sothasil, Sirta, Haskell, Talimrend, Fanuiten, Sheogorath, and all of the other Daedric princes who know of him at the very least as well. So, Jigalag was not truly forgotten. Who know of him at the very least as well. So, of him at the very least as well. So, Jigalag was not truly forgotten. In fact, he seems to almost be a cautionary tale for Daedric princes taking things too far. To quote Fanuiten, "I have ambitions, of course, like every Ada, but I keep them within my sphere, lest I suffer the same fate as you know who." Of course. To quote Fanuiten, "I have ambitions, of course." I have ambitions, of course, like every ten. I have ambitions, of course, like every Ada, but I keep them within my sphere, lest I suffer the same fate as you know who. You think Athelia would be confused hearing about Shea Gorath? I mean, she could have been one of the Daedra that originally cursed Jiggalag, I guess, technically. Jiggalag Banui 10. I have ambitions, of course, like, depends on what order that, events transpired. But in Athelia's case, Hermaeus Mora lived the same fate as you know who. But in Athelia's case, Hermaeus Mora literally pulls a Spider-Man No Way Home and, using a bullshit magic spell, makes everyone forget about Athelia, then banishes her to... I did want to find a clip of Doctor Strange screaming with the eyeball. I bet there's actually a clip of him casting that spell from Spider-Man. Yeah, I wonder if Zoss would know that timeline. Probably not, is my guess. A Spider-Man No Way case, Hermaeus Mora literally pulls a Spider-Man No Way Home and, using a bullshit magic spell, makes everyone forget about Athelia, then banishes her to another reality. The Gold Road chapter is insane. I want that to sync up with him screaming. To another reality. The Gold Road chapter Hermaeus Mora literally... But in Athelia's... Did this just change the entire aspect ratio of this video? Bro. Oh, come on. The aspect ratio is all goofed up. But in Athelia's case, Hermaeus Mora literally pulls a Spider-Man No Way Home and, using a bullshit magic spell, makes everyone forget about Athelia, then banishes her to another reality. The Gold Road chapter is insane. Is insane. Gold Road chapter banishes her to another reality. The Gold Road chapter is insane. Hermaeus Mora and the Vestige from ESO are then the only two people who supposedly remember anything. I think I wanted to grab both of these cinematics, actually. How's it going, Rasul? Hermaeus Mora. More gross mouth noises. Get rid of those. Insane. Is insane. Hermaeus Mora and the vestige from ESO are then the only. Hermaeus Mora and the vestige from ESO are then the only two people who supposedly remember anything about Athelia. From that, the reason I think that Deadlight was likely part of Miramor rather than its own realm entirely is Deadlight was likely part. Miramor has to have a load screen, right? Nope, apparently it doesn't. I guess I'll just go back to my Orbis picture. I actually really don't like this. Skein. The colored rooms. There are 16 Daedric realms currently ruled over. Doing good. I was going to watch Minecraft building ideas, but I saw your stream, so I'm here. What about you? We're doing pretty well. Just trying to get through this video editing process. It's going to take a bit. It's going to take a bit of time. We got a lot more to go. I need to go back and polish some stuff up, but so far so good. Erta, Haskell, Talimren, of course, like every Ada, but I keep them within my sphere. Less insane. Hermaeus Mora and the vestige from ESO are then the only two people who supposedly remember anything about Athelia. From that, the reason I think that Deadlight was likely part of Miramor rather than its own realm. Thank you. From that, the reason I think that Deadlight was likely part of Miramor rather than its own realm entirely is because in the legend of Deadlight, we hear this quote. But he found that this a Damn, I lost that yellow color. What color is this? Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. One plane was only a shattered shard, a mere. But he found that. But he found that this unknown plane was. But he found that this unknown plane was only a shattered shard, a mere remnant of some previous realm that had been subjugated to a terrible calamity. A few hours' march brought him to the jagged edges, where this sad fragment met the seas of Oblivion, and there was no way back. It seems like Deadlight is... Okay. Honestly, I'm very tired right now, and I think I'm going to call it there. I know that this was a very short stream. The last editing stream was like 9 hours, but it's Sunday. I've got to get to work, early tomorrow, and my sleeping habit has been way off because of the Oblivion remastered streams that we've been doing as well. So I am going to call it there. Sorry about the shorter stream, guys. I will talk to you guys in the next one, though. And I'll get some work done on this as well in between. I've got a lot more to edit, so sometime this week or next week for the video. It's understandable some days you can't crank out the same effort. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of I worked on the script a lot today in the recording, and I've already put like, I don't know, 8 hours into this today, so I am kind of tired, but yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for coming out. It was nice seeing you, and see you around.